Hi there, welcome to Bella's Vistas. Thanks for visiting. Please like and subscribe. Well, after a few hours of highway driving, we're out in the country. Now we're on rough roads. This is 805. We have to follow 805 to the very end, at which time, wow, look at the scenery along here though. It's nice to stop and get a few pictures. Nice bridges. We follow 805. We go past Emerald Lodge and a few places. We're looking for a sign for changing of the seasons. I love this little old bridge here. It's just a single lane bridge and I get my van through there. It seems to me like we're going to be scraping on both sides, but we're not. Okay, now we see some signs here. Wow, follow that guy. Going down here, the 805 user group. This road is pretty smooth here so far. It's getting a little bit rougher now. We're getting an inkling of what we're in for. Look at this. The trees are moving.
This is some dangerous
gravel's a little rougher. Big rocks are starting to stick up. Look at this. There's been a few rains that dug up some rocks. There's some big puddles here in the way. Gotta watch, but I know the puddles are not that deep and I know how to get around them now. Plus the new springs in the van made this so much easier. Without that, I wouldn't have made it down there. There's no way we would have made it. Look at this, the trees are whapping the antenna on the van. We're getting whacked on the roof once in a while a little bit. Puddle there. I try to stay out of the puddles as much as I can because you never know what might be in there. Lots of rough rocks and everything. Going along, slowing down. You can see what we're up against. We're not on the driveway yet. This is still the road. But I don't know if you'd get towed out of here by CAA if you had a problem. It could be very expensive to get out of here. So I'm worried about that all the time. Well, I worry all the time no matter where I am, but wow, look at the rocks. Hey, imagine that. Just amazing. Give you some idea of what the road is like. Had to really keep my wits about me. Main thing is not to go very fast. You know, like some people say you can go fast over a washboard road and you don't notice it. I don't find that. But since we had the springs done in the van and the front end alignment and a couple bushings, it's so much easier on roads like this. Now we're pulling in. This is the ceremony. Here's some cars parked up here. Chickens at play. Yeah. This is great. This is what I remember. I haven't been here for a few years. I've been really looking forward to get up here again. Great bunch of people here for the changing of the season ceremony. You can see some of the mud there. Everybody camps out here pretty much. Got big wood pile in the back of the shed here. There's a couple people camp in that shed. Here's a fellow bringing in some lumber for the tent they're going to set up. There you go. Everything's going in wheelbarrows and by boat. Some people paddle in here. One fella came in after a month on the trails. Wonderful campfire, lots of fun here, lots of musicians. We can't play you much of the music. I don't need any copyright strikes. It's amazing when somebody's playing his guitar around a campfire. If he's singing a song, you can still get a problem. Mornings are wonderful here. Beautiful sky. It's pretty peaceful. Everybody's just making coffee. Look at the skies. Wow. It's just like I remember. Everything is the same. The water is crystal clear. There's our kitty. This fella's bringing home the Christmas tree. Alex. Stars overhead. Peaceful. Quiet. Wonderful times. That axe has seen better days. Cut a lot of wood, I'm sure. Beautiful place. Such fun. I'm so lucky to be up here. Took me an hour and 20 minutes to drive Alex's driveway. Unfortunately, I got a flat tire here. One of the fellows had a patch kit and a little compressor. My compressor blew up when I was taking the tire up too high. Here I'm reaming out the hole in the tire so we can put a plug in there. It was just a tiny little hole. And there's the plug going in. I could not push the plug in myself. There's no way I could get that in. These are red plugs from Worth. They're really expensive plugs, and they do the job. There it is. Put some more air in the tire and put it back on. Yeah, my tires were thin. I wanted to get new tires, but I didn't quite manage to do it before we left. I'll be doing it now when we get home. It's going to be great. Look there, a little bit of a time lapse on the clouds rolling by. Then it's another night sitting around the fire. Great bunch of guys. Really, really peaceful. Nice and cool. Now you're going to see, this is where I have to drive out. We had about a 3.5 hour rainstorm or more, and it tore up the road. Look at that. That's what we're looking at. Gonna have to drive over those roots, and gonna let this fella get out first and then let this truck go by too, so it won't be quite so bad. When these vehicles are through, then we'll be able to get through. See, it's not so bad. You just gotta go nice and slow. Bump, bump, bump. It seems even slower when you're in the vehicle going out. I drove that. Wow. Our little kitty got sick on the way out. She's usually good once we're on the road, but we'd camped out here for several days, and I guess she got used to it. The road sure was rough in the van. You can see, gotta go to one side of the road and the other side. You can see the van's rocking back and forth here. I didn't want to get another flat tire either. I have a spare, but man, I did not want to get the spare down. So I was hopeful that the patch tire would work, and it did. Worked just fine. Some of these trucks that are abandoned at the side of the road here, they never made it out. That one looks like it's broken. The frame must be broken in the middle there. No, it's a parts truck. There, look at this. That's one of the washouts here. Look at that. Sometimes I didn't know whether to go right or left or what. You know, I didn't. We've got a lot more clearance for the engine and for the differential now than we had before. Probably 4 inches more clearance on the road, but still want to be very careful. The thing is, when you're going out, it seems easier because you know the way. When I was coming in, I wasn't sure. There's one of the rocks we showed on the way in. Huge, huge rocks here. Road's getting a little bit wider now as we get going. Thing is, just outside the driveway it gets worse again for some reason. I don't know why. You can see all the mud here. It could easily get stuck there. We did see a black bear up here on the driveway, which they hadn't seen a bear for many years, they said. But look, here's a big puddle. Gonna go slowly through that, probably right through the middle of it, I think. Now I'll go a little bit to the left. I didn't see nearly as much wildlife up here as I thought we would. In Algonquin Park just now I saw a grouse and a couple of other birds, but didn't see a moose or a wolf. Last time I was in Algonquin Park in the spring, I saw a moose and a wolf. This time, no luck at all with any wildlife. I'm hoping that that'll change. I'd like to come up to the park again in a couple weeks when the leaves are changing, and maybe we'll find some more wildlife. It's really hard to say. This driveway just goes on forever. I mean, it's unbelievable how long it takes to cover this. And you can't go fast. Well, I guess you could try and go fast, but you might wind up broken down then. And haste makes waste, like they say. A couple minutes of speed and you might be stuck there for a couple weeks until you got things fixed. Who knows what it would cost to get floated out of here, because somebody would have to come all the way in from town and put you on a big rig and take you somewhere. I didn't want that to happen at all, so I just took it easy. I mean, people are coming in compact cars and everything, so it's really no big deal. But my van's 1995, even with the new springs and shocks, it's still it's old technology and all that. We really love the van. We got 15 miles to the gallon once we got out of here. With this kind of driving, we were getting 12 and 13 miles to the gallon, but once we got out on the highway, we're back to 15. It's looking great. I was checking my oil this morning at the Walmart where we woke up, and there was a guy there and he was saying, "Oh, it looks like you need an oil change," and I was a little concerned about that, but then he tried to bum cigarettes off me, and I thought, well, maybe he's not a mechanic after all. Then later on in the day I checked the oil is just fine, so we got nothing to worry about there. What a long drive, oh boy. I noticed all the birch trees here, and I don't know why there'd be a stand of birch, like if it has anything to do with the driveway, or if these trees go on flatter ground, or what would be the reason for that. Wow. Yeah, it's almost putting me to sleep watching this video. I mean, wow, but when you're driving it, your knuckles are on the wheel. You've got white knuckles, and just worried about everything. Now I know the outcome. I know that I get out of there and I get to Algonquin Park, which is where I am right now. It's pretty wild. There's a little river on the right-hand side here, and I don't really know. Like, there's a lot of canoe trails here. I've heard of 30 double carry portages where somebody has to do the portage, go back and get his gear and come back. So you're taking your canoe and some stuff the first time, and then you're coming back for your packs and everything and bring it across. So that's pretty intensive to do that. You can paddle around, because sometimes you have to go from one lake to another, or from a river to a lake, or I don't proclaim to know how to do it, but I would like sometime to go on a canoe trip with some very experienced people. I'd like to canoe through Catico Park. I think that would be really nice to go on that trip. Well, we've got some more water puddles here, but you can see we're picking up a bit of speed. I mean, roads smoothing out. There's not so much water damage here. The water doesn't seem to tear up the gravel as much as it did the mud, so I guess that's a good thing. Here, this almost looks like it might have been graded or something at one time. We're headed to Temiskaming. A friend of mine saw my pictures from the changing of the seasons, and he said he's living in Temiskaming. He said, "You're in our area now." So I said, "Well, hey, we'll drop in and visit you." So here we are cruising down the road. We're going to head to his place and stop in and visit him for a while. Wow. Well, my friend Craig saw one of my posts from Temagami, and he said, "Well, you're up in our region." He's not on the land yet, but he's got an apartment, and we're headed up there now. It's about 2 hours and a half to get there. We're going to go and visit Craig for a day or two, see what we can find out around that way, and then we'll carry on. It's going to be interesting. I was so happy to see the bright pink sky this morning, and then I remembered pink in the night, sailor's delight, pink in the morn, sailor take warn. So we're in our land sailing machine, so we'll see how that goes. Thanks for visiting Bella's Vistas. Please like and subscribe. Come on again real soon.